Welcome to the Deadlifts and Pizza podcast, where we discuss no BS fitness and nutrition.
We're your hosts. I'm Laura.
And I'm Jaime.
Let's get into it.
So I had a doctor's appointment this morning, and I don't know why I find it so fun. I'm curious your thoughts on that. I have a feeling I already know what your opinion is going to be. So my husband went to the doctor like 3 months ago because he had some gastric issues. He had some kind of virus, and he went to the doctor. They determined it was a virus. I told him it's a virus. You don't need to go to the doctor. Like, I could tell it was a virus. It'll be fine. But if you want, he wants to go to the doctor. Whatever. The doctor's like, okay, 3-month follow-up. So he comes home. He's like, I have a follow-up in 3 months. And I was like, why? So that 3-month follow-up was like last week. And he's like, oh, yeah, I have a doctor's appointment, a follow-up. I'm like, follow-up from 3 months ago when you had a virus? I was like, this is me versus him, right? He's like, I'm going to do by the book. They said to do it. I'm going to go. I don't really, question it. It's medical care. Like, I'm not the doctor. I'm like, and I'm the opposite. I'm like, we don't need to go to the doctor. I'm going to go to the doctor. So anyway, he really likes this doctor. He went, he had his follow-up, and he comes home being like, you really need to go get a wellness check. And I was like, I don't, though. It's fine. And he's like, but the thing is, right. He's like, you really need to establish like primary care, because we're back in San Antonio now. I don't really have a primary care doctor. We were here before. And he's like, you need to go to establish primary care. And the only way to do it is to do like a wellness check and establish care. And I'm like, I'll just do that if I need to. And he's like, but the thing is, if you get sick, you won't be able to go see them. You'll have to go to urgent care. I was like, then I'll go to urgent care. And so anyway, he made an appointment for me, and he's very much like, you're going. And so he made the appointment this morning, and he's like, you remember you have a doctor's appointment this morning? And I'm just laughing because I'm sitting in the room, and he comes in and he's like, any health concerns? I was like, nope. Any allergies? Nope. Any prior surgeries? Nope. Any health condition? Nope. It was just like, okay, you check, everything's good, blood pressure's good, everything okay. And then when I go to leave, the people at the desk are like, okay, so you have a scheduled follow-up for 3 months from now. And I just looked at him and I was like, follow up for what? And they were like, your symptoms? I was like, I don't have any symptoms. They were like, okay. And I just said, do I really need to do that? And she just kind of like scrunched her brow and nodded like, yeah. And, but if you need to cancel or make any changes, just do it on the website. I was like, okay, I'll be canceling that. I don't really want to come to the doctor if I don't have to, because it takes out of your morning. Like, it's not that big of a deal, but
it would be different if you had something. What? No, that just sounds wrong. Like, to have somebody come back in for a virus after 3 months doesn't make any sense. And then to have someone come in every are you going to have to come back every 3 months? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I wondered the same thing. I mean, my husband, they didn't schedule another one. So I think for him, I could maybe see if they were like, okay, we would just want to make sure that you're not still experiencing symptoms. But maybe
then you call and you make an appointment. You don't need to like be like, hey, you need to come back in 3 months. Like, it's different.
Though, so I will say that the common complaint is almost the opposite. Like, these doctors are not giving a much time. They're rushing us out. So like, maybe this is like a pot. They're like, we really just want to make sure we're checking in with you, make sure everything's okay, and anything that you need. Like,
isn't that maybe a good happy medium? Like, because that would be like, no, I don't need to come for, like, if I like the idea of going to establish, like, check your blood work or something every year or every couple years or something like that. But like, do I need to come here for you to ask me if I'm okay, for me to tell you I'm okay? Because if I'm not okay, why don't I just call you and tell you I'm not okay?
Right.
Why do I need to come here to tell you that?
Right, because if you're going to wait 3 months to tell your doctor that you've actually been experiencing GI upset for 3 months and you've just been waiting for your follow-up,
waiting for them to be like, hey, yeah, no.
But anyway, he was super nice and it was fine. And I've established primary care, so now if anything happens, I can just go straight there. So I guess that was a good thing.
I mean, that's a good idea. I agree in that regard. But
well, ChatGPT also did, because I was like, I'm not going. And he's like, we talked about this. I was like, I know we talked about it, and I don't think I need to go. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And
I don't go to
the ChatGPT.
I'm the worst. Like, I don't go. Like, I'm supposed to, but I don't go get checked out for anything. I mean, except for like, the woman doctor. I go there.
I need to do that, but do you have an established primary care physician?
I don't think so, because I think I'm probably purged out of the system, because it's not the same doctor as Wayne, but it's in the same office. And he called once to have, I think it was when he had a tick, when he got bit by a tick. And they're like, yeah, no, you're no longer a patient here.
Why?
Because it took so long to go to the doctor.
So if you don't go for a certain amount of time, they might actually like just kick
Yeah.
you out? Oh,
Yeah,
shoot.
so I don't know if my doctor is actually my doctor anymore.
Well, then maybe establishing primary care for me was completely pointless because I'm never going to go unless I'm like,
I don't know if they all do that, but maybe in that office, or I don't even know, maybe it was just his doctor. I don't know. But they have so many patients, I think, that they're like,
yeah.
these people never come here. Let's get rid of them so we can get new patients, probably.
You know, and it's funny because like it depends on who you talk to or like who's listening to you talk because like my husband's family has this general idea that I am like anti-medical care, anti-antibiotics, anti all that, and I'm not. I'm actually not at all. But like my dad is true anti. Like he will be dying and he won't go. And it literally happened. He almost died because he would not go to the doctor. And he's got all kinds of health issues because he refuses to go to the doctor, gingivitis and like infections and things that he just would not get treated. Now he's finally doing it, but he is like, that's what he is. I'm not like that. I'm totally supportive of it. I think I'm very big on preventative care and I think I really do a good job of it. And I'm going to go to the doctor if I really need extra help.
Yeah.
You know? So,
yeah, I'm not a big, I mean, I had kidney stones before and I didn't go to the doctor.
Oh, I've never had those. I heard they're really painful.
It is like childbirth.
No.
It hurts so badly.
I don't ever want to experience what I experienced in childbirth for my second child ever in my life again.
Well, the difference is that it's not, so it's like your body does stuff and then it takes a break. So, childbirth for me with Caleb, it lasted 42 hours.
Oh my gosh.
And with Jules, it was like over 24 hours, I believe. I don't remember. Like both of them took a long time. So that's why it was worse, because it was worse because it was like a marathon. This is like intense pain, but it only lasted for an hour. And then I would have like a little break and then I would get it again the next day.
Oh my God.
But I would never know and it was coming. So it happened overnight. And it was when my husband, I don't think we were married at the time, but we lived together and he worked overnights. And I called him. He worked like third shift and I called him. I'm like, I don't know what's happening to me.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
I'm like, I don't know what this is. Is it the worst pain ever? Did my appendix explode? What is happening? And then I don't know why he knew, but he was like, you probably have a kidney stone. I'm like, okay. And then I looked it up. I'm like, yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you went to the doctor for that?
Nope.
You have to? You pass it, right? It passes.
I did it on my own. If it didn't, I would be in real big trouble. So I probably should have went to the doctor, but I didn't. But yeah, it hurt like a couple times. It did that where it was this intense hurt.
Oh my gosh.
And then it must have moved to a different spot so that every time I constantly felt like I had to pee, but I couldn't pee. It was like blocking it.
Oh my gosh.
And then I must have eventually passed it and I could pee again.
That sounds awful.
It was the worst ever.
I did see somebody. There's another like fitness and nutrition coach that I have a good relationship with. Great person, but we very different. She's very like functional, hormones, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she posted in her story kind of recently, past flu season, probably last year, like, hey, anybody out there, do you have any remedies I might not have tried? I have been bedridden with a high fever for like 3 weeks now. I have the flu. It has not gone away. I have done everything. And I'm like, I don't know what to do anymore. Like, I don't want to. So I responded, I was like, have you been to the doctor yet? And she said, no, don't want to go to the doctor. Right. But that's the point. Like, I would have gone at that point.
Yeah.
And that's where you're like, I think she went 4 or 5 weeks before her body finally passed it. But I was, yeah. So, I mean, I'm not that bad.
I'm like this weird person where I don't like to ask for help and I don't like to be a bother. So like,
is that what fuels this though? Like, is that the
yes,
same?
It is.
Interesting.
So I don't want to go and be like, hey, I have this problem. And it's like, it's really not that big of a deal though, but it's kind of bothering me. But I know it's probably nothing, like.
Actually, I'm going to leave,
You know what? Never mind.
I know you have other people that like have a cold that need antibiotics.
Yeah.
Oh
That's definitely part of it. It's like, I'm afraid to ask and be like, hey, I have this problem.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Because I didn't actually think maybe that was it for you, because for me it's more of a little bit of a, I don't know, it's a little bit of a rebellious, a little bit of a, I don't know, you know what I mean? But I
That's
think
part of it too,
yeah, you have that too. So I just assumed it was the same reason. I didn't, but you also have that, like, don't want to be a burden thing, but I didn't think you had that for like medical care.
Yeah, so if I had a fever for like 3 weeks, part of me would be like, I should probably go to the doctor to get this fixed. But also, it'll probably just go away on its own. I probably don't need help for this, but maybe I should go ask. Like, so it has to be something so bad that I'm like, I desperately need your help because I know that I can't do this on my own.
Yeah.
And me asking isn't like me being ridiculous, you know?
Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, what you got? I got some hot takes.
You can talk.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have one thing to say. I'm so excited about my sled. I'm so excited to use
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Dude, I remember last podcast, was it last podcast we were talking about this?
Maybe, yeah.
And you made the comment of, oh, like Wayne said he'll build me one. And I was gonna say it, but I think we got off topic. But I was thinking in my mind, like, no, that's literally gonna happen like tomorrow. Like she's gonna have it. Because I remember when you were talking about that, most people say they're gonna do stuff and they don't do it. And then you, like a couple days later, texted me a picture of your sled.
Yeah, no, well, it didn't actually go like that. So 3 weeks ago, I was like, hey, can you build me a sled? And I found a video on how to build it and everything, and I sent it to him, and he just seemed very uninterested to build me one. And I was kind of like, he's not gonna build it. You know, he's gonna do other things, whatever. So before our podcast, I think it might have even been that day, I texted him and I said, hey, if you're not interested in building me the sled, can you just get me the materials and leave me your tools and I will build it, right? And he's like, oh no, I'm sorry, I'll do it. Blah, 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 I'll do it. Don't worry. Yeah, I was like, I'll do it tonight. And I'm like, you don't have to do it tonight, but you just don't seem like you really want to build it. And then this weekend, I was like, hey, can you? So he was like, sure, and he did it. Yeah,
He did it in like, how long did it take?
5 hours, maybe. Not even.
And how much did it take for all the materials and everything? How much money
the
was
price?
it? Yeah, the price.
It was like $200. It wasn't, the lumber wasn't very expensive, but it's the poles to push.
Yeah.
So there's a pole for the weights to go on and then to push it. So both of those things were expensive, but and then he didn't put the last piece on, so there's going to be like a PVC pipe to go on the middle part so that it fits to my weights better, because right now they'll move around, right? So it'll be to fit those, but yeah.
Have you
it's
used
pretty
it
much
yet?
done. Not really. I just like pushed it a little bit outside to see how it worked and whatever. But
that's cool.
I'll probably use it tomorrow. I'm excited.
That's cool. You can have a whole new thing that you can program in your workouts.
Yeah. And it would probably be like just as expensive to buy one, depending on like what one you get. But the wooden one, I feel like it doesn't tear up my yard. I can just push it with the landscape timbers on the bottom.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool.
I'm excited.
That's really cool. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, I got some hot takes, and these are basically things that I find myself saying in my head when I'm scrolling Instagram or when I'm reading through like fitness things, and I see either the things that people are promoting and selling that I'm like, it doesn't work like that, or questions that people are asking and I'm like, doesn't work like that. And I find myself saying these things in my head, and I figure there would be good things to just say out loud. Okay. And then you can comment on them.
Okay.
All right.
So not necessarily hot takes, just more like, okay, yeah, sure.
Well, what's the definition of a hot take?
I feel like a hot take is something that other people would disagree with, that you're like
it's controversial?
Controversial, but maybe not.
I feel like a hot take is more like, I'm hot. Here's my take on this. You know what I mean? Like I just want to say this and it's going to make you mad, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay. Yeah. It could make people mad. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, it might not even make people mad. These are not that big of a deal. But my first one that I keep finding I'm saying relatively often, like at least once a week, is you're not going to notice a difference when you take creatine. Stop thinking you're going to notice a difference when you take creatine. And I'd be curious your thoughts on this. I see people being like, ladies, I've been on creatine for a month now and I haven't noticed anything. Like, where's the changes? Or I've been taking creatine for 3 months now. and I don't notice the changes. My arms are the same size and my deadlifts are the same, whatever. Like, I don't notice any difference, or like I haven't lost weight, or I haven't, like, whatever the difference they think.
Creatine isn't necessarily a muscle builder where you just take it and you build muscle. It just helps you in your workouts so that you can, push hard or whatever. And so you're not going to notice it in that way.
I feel like it's this, and maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's similar to like taking a multivitamin and thinking you're going to notice a difference. Like, all right, I started multivitamins. Where's all the energy and all the health benefits? It's like, no, you're just supplementing. You don't necessarily notice them. The things that are changing are so small that if you're going about your daily life, you're not going to notice them.
Yeah, and it's really hard to know if it's doing anything because you don't notice it.
Yeah.
And there are some people that are actually non-responders to creatine.
That's also true. Yeah.
So there could be people that take it for no reason or spending their money for no reason. Yeah, so I don't know.
But the question I have is, if you're a non-responder, it's like something like 25%, right, of people are like non-responders to creatine. Are you non-responder, like your whole body's non-responsive to creatine, or is it just like in the muscle response?
I don't know. I've just heard that before. Yeah. And that also makes me wonder, are you a non-responder because you already have enough creatine? Because people, it would be like me taking vitamin D when I don't need, or vitamin, that's a bad example because you could overtake vitamin D, but like me taking vitamin C when I already get enough vitamin C through the day, I would be a non-responder because I already have enough. So
yeah, so your body's processing it out. Right. So yeah. Because creatine, you naturally get creatine through your food anyway. So when you're supplementing with creatine, you're just trying to get a little extra so that your body's storing more of it to use for building more muscle, but also like brain function and stuff like that. So yeah, I wonder if the like when they say, so all these studies coming out, the benefits on like especially aging populations with memory and brain function and all of these things, is it the same? Are we non-responding in those ways too? That's a great question. I don't know the answer to.
Neither do I.
But the other reason why you won't, so it's a supplement. So I always tell people, like, it's a supplement. You also don't take protein powder and notice like, oh my God, all this weight fell off because I started protein. Like, you don't notice things, but people think when you say creatine, it's like pre-workout. Like, you're going to start taking it and you're going to notice all these insane benefits. It doesn't, go ahead.
No, because it can help with energy too, but it's not that kind of energy like caffeine energy. It's a different kind of energy.
Yeah.
Like creatine phosphate you use when you're working out, right? So it's one of the pieces that you need.
That gives you, and it's like the energy isn't like, when we think of energy, we tend to think of like, this immediate boost, like a stimulating feeling.
Yeah, it's not that.
It's not a stimulating feeling. It's literally, it's not even, well, it's energy in the most basic scientific terms. I don't know the way we think about it. It's literal energy from your body to be able to perform an exercise. Yeah. So that's the other thing that people won't necessarily notice, because you could notice the effects of creatine, but it would require really knowing what your true max is in the gym in certain lifts. Yeah. Like what can I normally do in a squat and I really can't get beyond this? Or what can I normally do in a deadlift and I've done everything, I've programmed properly, I know what my 1 rep max, I can't get beyond it. And then you start noticing, oh wow, I'm able to do one more rep when I normally couldn't have done one more. Most people aren't at, especially women, aren't at the point where they would even be able to notice if they could do one more rep or not. Like I can notice if I can do one more rep of a deadlift.
You can, but it's also like, was that the creatine, or was that because I slept better, or was that because I ate more food? Was that because it's really hard to narrow it down to that one thing?
You have to know that very well over extended periods of time to be able to tell if creatine is helping or not.
Yeah.
So that's what I want. Stop thinking you're going to notice a difference with creatine. My next one, weightlifting's not going to make you lose fat. Now, I'm saying that because you're like, just blank stare, like, yes, it will. The reason I'm saying this is because, yes, it will, but a lot of people, a lot of women are like, oh, I heard about strength training. I heard that if I do this, it actually makes you lose fat faster. So I'm going to start strength training. But then they go into the gym and they start grabbing dumbbells and doing different things. And then after like 3 or 4 weeks, they're like, my weight hasn't really changed. I heard you weren't supposed to do cardio, so I'm strength training instead, and nothing's happened. I thought strength training was the magic thing. It's not how it works.
So it's like strength training is going to burn more calories, so I should strength train, that kind of thought?
So strength training will help you burn more fat, but it's a little bit more of a dedication to learning proper strength training, and it's also a little bit dedication to not just losing weight. So that's another thing, not just losing weight, but losing fat and gaining muscle and understanding that difference. But there's a lot of people that don't. So I'll see people asking all the time, like, okay, I started strength training. It's been a month. I'm desperately trying to lose weight. Nothing worked before. And now I'm doing this and it's still not working.
I feel like it is a byproduct. It's like a secondary thing that happens from strength training, but not the primary goal of strength training. Like strength training is for getting stronger, building muscle, that kind of stuff. And the fat loss just happens while you're doing that, but it's not the main reason you should be strength training.
Exactly. And if you're going after a calorie burn and if you're going after weight loss, I don't want to say fat loss, if you're going after weight loss and drops on the scale, first of all, let's have a conversation about if that really should be your goal. But if that is your goal, I'm not going to tell you shouldn't do that. Then a calorie deficit and cardio is probably still the way to go, honestly. But if you want to dedicate yourself more to losing body fat and gaining lean muscle and being stronger and all these other great benefits of strength training, then we need to learn strength training properly. But people are like chasing the scale and then hearing the magic of strength training and then ditching their cardio and going into the gym and their intensity is way low because they don't really know what they're doing and wondering why it's not working.
And it's a little different because fat loss is different than weight loss, right? Just the scale might not move, but you could be dropping fat. If you're building muscle and losing fat at the same time, that could be happening. So, and it might be happening. It's just going to happen at a very slow pace, though. It's not like, okay.
Yeah, but a better pace. It's better. Like, right, that it's slow because it's like the things that you want to happen are actually happening. But I'll see that a lot too, where people are saying, I thought that this would help me lose weight and I've actually gained weight. Like my scale is up 5 pounds now and I'm trying to get it lower, not higher. And that's another thing where you're like, well, you're building muscle and you're holding on to water and, stored glycogen and there's all this stuff happening. And that's actually a good thing. But so I just want to scream that sometimes. Like, don't start weightlifting because you just want to lose weight on the scale faster and you think strength training is a magic bullet. I'll ask people that a lot when I'm on calls. Like when I first get on a call with somebody who's like interested, either they want some help or they're maybe interested in training. And I'm like, okay, what's your goal? Why do you want to strength train? That's a question I'll have. Do you already strength train or are you trying to learn how? And then why do you want to learn how? What's your reason? Because if they're like, oh, I heard it helps you lose weight faster, then I'm like, okay, well then let's talk. Because I don't want that to be your reason why you want to strength train.
My main reason for strength training when I first started was to up my metabolism so I could eat more food.
Yeah, and it worked. And then you lost fat, right?
Yeah, I did lose fat.
Yeah. So I like literally don't even want to work with somebody if that's their answer. If their answer is, oh, I heard it makes you lose weight faster. I'm like, I need you to really love it. I need you to want to learn how to do it. And I need you to really enjoy it because that's the way that you're going to notice the benefits of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to pick which one to do. All right. If you want to increase your protein, you don't need to go buy more things with the word protein on it. Stop buying things with the word protein on it. I should have rephrased that. Stop buying things with the word protein on it in an attempt to increase your protein.
That is so frustrating. Every time you tell a client not every time, a lot of the times when you tell a client you need to get more protein, they're like, okay, I need to get protein powder and eat protein bars and eat this protein.
I found protein granola and protein cereal and
just eat some steak.
Yeah.
And some chicken and some fish and yogurt.
Yeah. And then I'll have people say, I've really been working on increasing my protein and I don't know what else to do. I don't know. I feel like I'm constantly eating protein all day long, yet I'm still not getting enough. I'm barely breaking 100 grams, but I'm eating protein all day long. I hear this all the time. And I'm like, okay, what are you eating? And it's like a protein shake. I had protein cereal. I had protein granola. I had this protein bar. And then I'll look at their meals and it's like a salad with like beans or like a little bit of chicken. And like breakfast was like an egg. And I'm like, the way to increase protein is make that more chicken. Eat more eggs and egg whites. Eat, like, oh, you had steak at dinner or like you had like fried chicken. Okay, ditch the frying, eat more chicken. It's like eat more of these actual whole foods that you're eating. Stop going after the protein things.
Yeah, they just try to eat it more often too, instead of just like, okay, just eat like 6 ounces of chicken in your salad. And that's a good amount. You're good.
And then you don't have to eat that protein bar that tastes like
that is also half carbs. Exactly. It's not even mostly protein.
Yeah, you could enjoy like actual food. Like I remember how freeing it was when I finally understood this because I in the very beginning was kind of like this, like everything had to be protein labeled and
Mm-hmm.
protein bars and stuff like that. And when you can just eat an apple with peanut butter, like just regular food because you ate a lot of protein at each of your
Because
meals, that you're
every meal
good.
doesn't have to have protein in it.
No. And like I don't have to eat these nasty protein bars or even like drink protein
Yeah.
with water because I, feel like I just protein. It's like, no, I can actually just get it through my food if I adjust my portions.
Yeah, I find it very easy actually now to get
I
enough
do too.
protein.
Yeah.
But I also don't weigh as much as I'm a smaller person height wise, right? So I don't need as much protein as some other people, but I still get
Yeah,
like
but
130 grams a day pretty easily, you know?
exactly. People have trouble breaking 100. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
like I don't care how big or small you are, if you have trouble breaking 100, once you figure out how to get over 100, I feel like the pathway is pretty paved. You can figure out then how to, multiply that if you need to. But
Yeah.
there's so many people that can't break 100 all the
Just,
time. I
it,
eat 1,800 calories and I'm thinking about protein all day long, yet I'm still only getting 80 grams. I'm like, then you're thinking about it wrong and getting it wrong. Like it would be so easy if you just increase the portion sizes of your
yeah.
meat. Okay, if you're vegan or vegetarian, I understand it's harder.
And just it's try to get 30 to 40 grams in each meal, and then snacks would just be extra.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's a big thing too, is people don't really focus on breakfast. They think,
Yeah.
okay, I had some scrambled eggs, I had protein. But if you're starting off at that deficit of only having like 12 grams of protein at breakfast, you're already
Hmm.
starting off the day at a deficit. If you can
Yeah.
figure out how to get your protein, have 30 to 40 grams of protein in it and eat that on the regular, you're kind of set up. Sometimes that all you need to do is that. And then you've already broke 100 grams because your lunch and your dinner's already got it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Another one about protein. If you do figure out how to go from 50 grams of protein to like 120 grams of protein, congratulations, you figured it out. But if you do that from one day to the next, you are going to get backed up if you're not eating enough fiber.
You're gonna get a little uncomfortable.
You're not going to feel good. As these people too are like, I increased my protein, but now I feel like balls because I can't poop. And it's like, oh, you forgot to actually eat like whole foods and like fiber and fruits and vegetables. You were too obsessed with protein, right?
Yeah, you got to do both. You got to get the fiber and the protein for more reasons than just fitness, but for health. You want that fiber too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's I don't know. It cracks me up because people will say like they'll then quit. They'll say, "Oh, this was a really bad idea. I need to go back. I just can't eat that much protein because my body reacts badly." It's like, why don't you try increasing a little bit more slowly? And then yeah, my second thing was going to be like, if you go from 10 grams of fiber to like 30 grams of fiber with all the supplements and stuff, you're going to have the opposite problem. You're going to
Yeah.
feel bloated and
Yeah.
you're going to like, it's really going to be bad. So that's another thing is people
Yeah.
are, okay, I'm going to increase my fiber. And from one day to the next, they're eating beans and raspberries and whole grains and broccoli and cabbage. And all of a sudden they're like bloated and feeling uncomfortable. Both of
Yeah.
these things should be a slow buildup because your body needs time to build up to being able to digest because it's not used to being able to digest these things properly, right?
Yeah, I always build up clients slowly. If I look at their diet and there's barely any fiber in there, I don't just jump to 30 grams of fiber.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Most people can't anyway, but a lot of people will just eat beans. Like, okay, great. If I can just eat beans, and then they're like, their gut is torn apart.
Beans just in general, I can eat tons of fiber. I mean, I eat tons of fiber, but if I eat too many beans, my stomach does not like that.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't do well with too many beans. I can eat some of them, but if it's no.
Yeah, I can eat any amount of beans and I don't notice any difference with beans
No.
at all,
This
ever.
one of the only things that high fiber foods. I don't eat a lot of
Yeah.
beans.
Do you eat beans every week? Would you say you eat like beans?
Not every week. No.
I
I
wonder.
do if I ate them more often,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah, I do. Like the things I will eat beans in most, the soup, like I'll make like pasta fazola or something like that. I have beans in there. Uh, but other than
Yeah.
that, like I'm not a big bean person. I'm trying to
Yeah.
think what else I put beans in.
Or like
just all different kinds of soup. So when at this time of year, I guess I should say I do have it like weekly because I put it in soup. But I used to put 2 cans in. Now I only put 1 can in because if I put 2 in, it's just too much.
really?
Yeah,
Or like lentils, like lentil soups?
yeah. I don't eat a lot of lentils. No.
Oh, I love lentil soups. I make a butternut squash, like curried lentil soup. It's
Mm,
like smooth. Oh my gosh, it's so
yeah.
good. Yeah, I eat a lot of beans and lentils.
I'm more of like a brothy, like chicken broth, beef broth kind of
Yeah.
person. I don't like stew really. I like it more brothy. Or I don't like anything thick and greasy.
You like a good beef stew?
No, I don't like it. I'll make beef soup, but not stew. It's like not as thick. That grosses me out.
Really?
And it hurts my tummy.
What about chili?
I like
Like
chili.
Do you like
chili.
do you
But
do
it's still
watery chili?
a little bit. It's still not like super thick. I guess there's still a little bit of like it's not like watery, but it's not
watery chili.
Watery chili. But yeah, but same thing. My stomach, whew, chili.
But you said it hurts you. A beef stew hurts your tummy. Why?
Greasy things, like so. It's a little bit more greasy when it's like that.
Well, you use a lean cut of meat. I don't know. My beef stews aren't very fatty at all.
Even if I just have like a roast.
Yeah.
If I eat a roast, it doesn't like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But brisket, probably don't eat brisket. Yeah.
What I do with roast is I just cut up the beef, and I don't even like make it into a roast. I cut it up into pieces, and I'll put it in like a stir fry or make some kind of beef skillet meal, and then I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Well, then why?
I don't know. I don't know if it's all the vegetables. I don't know if I have no idea. No
Interesting.
idea. Soup would have vegetables. I don't know, Jamie.
I'm trying to dig into this. Why would beef stew hurt your belly? I feel like you need to come over and I'll make you beef stew, and we're gonna really like test this out.
Anything that's like, I don't know, like the broth is a little bit more like, if it seems more clean, like I don't know a better word than clean, but like I like
I literally just put beef and I cut all the fat off, and potatoes and mushrooms. I love mushrooms and carrots.
It doesn't even sound good to me.
Oh my God. How?
No.
And then it's just like fall apart meat, and then you add peas at the end. No, your face is just not changing. Oh my God, my mouth is watering.
It's just not my kind of meal, I guess.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
That confuses me.
It's funny
take.
because if
beef
you told
stew
me
is amazing.
If you told me you're going to eat carrots, I'd be like, good. If you told me you're going to eat potatoes, good. You're going to eat beef, good. You're going to eat peas, good. Like, I think I said all of them, right? All of those things individually sound amazing, but you put them all together and I'm like,
Laura, that's what soup is, though.
I know.
Carrots, potatoes, beef.
But it has broth. The broth makes the difference.
Fascinating. Well, there's a little bit of there's like a gravy with the beef. It kind of creates its own gravy.
I do not like gravy.
Do you like gravy on your turkey at Thanksgiving?
Ew, no.
Oh, I think we hacked it.
It's
gravy.
It's the gravy. I don't like, it's like basically concentrated fat, and I don't want that.
Well, no. Not necessarily.
What gravy is.
Well, not necessarily. If it's just like a floury cornstarchy mixture with flavor,
no, I don't want that either.
Okay, well. You know how my dad makes his gravy? He literally roasts whatever, like the chicken or the turkey, and then all the drippings from the bottom. He makes it like legit, like how you're supposed to make gravy. And he makes it using those fat drip. That's like,
that's what I'm thinking of when I'm thinking of gravy. But either way, the way you just said it does not sound good either. But I don't do well. Like, I don't even like chicken thighs very often. I don't do well with greasy things. It does not make me feel good. It makes my stomach feel really crappy. Yeah. I like leaner, which is good.
It is. I will say, when I do beef stew, we will get off this topic, but when I do beef stew, you coat the beef chunks that are lean and the lean and fat's cut off. You coat them in like a flour mixture that has seasonings in it, and you kind of fry them like that. And then when you stew it all, that's what makes it almost like a gravy, is because of the flour with the kind of like the beef broth. You you almost look disgusted. It's so good.
I don't want
some
flour.
crusty bread.
Although like, give me some meatballs. I'll destroy those.
Oh, there we go.
I like meatballs. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
And I could eat a bunch of those. Those have like, no, not, there's, yeah.
Well, it depends on what kind of meat you use, how much fat a meatball has.
More breadcrumbs. There's no flour, weird stuff in there.
Yeah. Well, okay. Stop debating this. Very
people
bothered.
Are listening and going, well, people probably agree with you way more than me. I'm just 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I understand that I am off.
Yeah. Anybody here agrees with Laura? Please let us know in the comments below.
People are like, who doesn't put gravy on their turkey? It's dry.
Zero people.
Where I'm like,
I love some brown gravy. I I don't like a white gravy, like a creamy or peppery gravy. I like brown gravy. And yeah, you looked gross again. That's so funny.
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
Learn new things about you every day. Next one is stop trying to track your calories burned. It's not gonna be accurate at all, and it doesn't fucking matter.
People still do this. This is still a thing.
Yes. And so again, everything has nuance, right? So if you're tracking it in this very like data way and you know it's not accurate, but you're trying to see if, I don't know, I could hear some arguments as to why an individual in a very unique scenario might want to try to see those numbers, but for the vast majority of people, it's going to be an extremely inaccurate number because no calorie tracker can actually know how much you're burning. It's like it can be up to like 50% off in either direction. But it also is, again, for a lot of people, you're chasing the wrong metric and you're chasing a metric that's just digging you into a deeper hole. And it drives me nuts.
Yeah. And it's, I I kind of zoned off when you were talking. I was still thinking about gravy.
We can still talk about gravy. I'm happy to continue the gravy conversation.
No, I don't want to keep talking about gravy. It's boring. But I was just thinking about things. I don't know, but so I'm going to talk, and I might repeat what you already said. What I really hate about it is it takes the whatever you're doing the exercise for, it changes the purpose of it. You shouldn't be doing the exercise to burn calories, right? So if I'm strength training, I don't really care how many calories I'm burning during my exercise. It's not the goal. Even if I'm doing cardio, it's not really my goal to burn as many calories as I can. It's to get, improve my cardiovascular system, right? So I can do better next time.
Which is going to be the thing that helps your body burn calories longer daily, 24/7.
Then progressive overload is what you should be focusing on, not how many calories you're burning.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. If you're focusing on how many calories you're burning, guess what? Your body, especially when it comes to cardio, or in general, like calorie burn, is really, really good at adapting to that and helping you become more efficient so you burn less calories. That's what your body does. So if you're chasing a calorie burn, not only is it probably going to be inaccurate because it can't account for how efficient your body has become, but it's causing, so during your workout, burning calories doesn't really mean anything compared to the amount of calories you're burning over the course of a day. And when you focus the hour, instead of how many calories can I burn, when you focus it on how can I get faster, how can I get better, how can I get stronger, and don't care about the calories at all, then that's teaching your body you need to burn more calories 24/7, not just in this 1 hour workout, because we're constantly focusing, our bodies are now constantly focusing on repairing and adapting, which is a kind of a 24/7 process. And you're going to increase your metabolic rate because of that focus. And this kind of goes in with people saying like, oh, I started lifting weights and I'm not losing any weight. What the heck? I'll see that a lot too. Like, okay, I was burning like 300 calories in my cardio workout. Now I'm strength training and I'm barely burning 100 and my weight is not going down. This strength training thing really sucks. And you're like, oh my God, there's so much wrong with this, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think people understand. It's because we've been taught, that the goal is always to lose weight, to lose weight, to lose weight. I think that's why when I first started in this field, I was not like anti-cardio, but I was like cardio stupid. And I think it's because everybody did cardio for that purpose. It was always like how many calories I'm burning, all like that. But now I like cardio because it's for other purposes. It's
the same.
Yeah. I actually want to add more cardio in.
I never thought I'd be somebody that enjoyed cardio, but it is exactly that. It's because even as a trainer early on in my career, I still had a skewed view of cardio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I actually enjoy cardio now because it's another way to like track progress on a cool metric and feel fit.
Which is really funny because when I was in high school, that's not how I viewed cardio. It wasn't to burn as many calories. It was like, I need to get faster for basketball. I need to improve my endurance. I need to do these things. It was performance based. But as you get older, it was like, oh, I need to burn calories.
The cultural environment around fitness and nutrition skewed you. You started off correct.
I started off correct.
And then they fucked you up.
Yeah.
That's why I feel proud of my kids, because one of the things with our weekly workouts that we've been doing on the weekends, my daughter in particular is way more resistant when we're getting ready to do it. Like, hey, we got to get dressed. No, I'm not doing it. I don't want to. And really resistant. But she's also the one that immediately has like the high of how good she feels after proving to herself how strong and fit she is. She even asked me yesterday when we were done, she was like, hey, you want to go for a jog with me up and down our street? I was like, yeah. I was in my Crocs. I literally just had my Crocs on. I was like, let's go. We jogged up and down the street. And she randomly was like, I've already decided what I want my day to look like when I'm a mom. And I was like, really? And she starts like, yeah, I'm going to wake up at 6. And she starts just, she's just thinking. And the thing she was like, I'm going to wake up at 6. I'm going to have my coffee. So she's basically like me. She described me is what she did, which was great. I loved it. But she put in there that she's going to go for a jog. Wake up and have my coffee and I'm going to watch a little TV, read a book, and I'm going to go for a jog. I was like, I like that you include a jog in there. What's your reason for that? She's like, I want to make sure I stay fit. But that's her thing. She's like, I want to be fit. Like and my son, he's noticing his stamina at Taekwondo was really low. So he's like, Mommy, can we start jogging? I need to improve my stamina. So I was like, yeah, we're doing cardio because we're improving our stamina.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 2 more, and my favorite one I'm going to save for the end.
Okay.
So the next one is, if you keep falling off the wagon, then you need to change what you're doing and not keep beating yourself up. If you can't do it consistently, you are going to fail at it.
You need to get a new wagon.
You need to get a new wagon.
One that you can stay on, that you don't fall off of.
That's a great analogy. If Susie Q that you went to high school with on Facebook is selling wagons that don't have railings, they're just flatbed wagons, and she's got her and it's like 3-wheeled or 2-wheeled, and she's got all these reasons in her ad campaign why this is the best wagon and it's going to help hold everything better, but you buy the wagon and you keep falling off. It's not your fault. You don't need to improve your balance. The wagon fucking sucks. It's a stupid wagon.
The wagon is not right for you.
No, it's probably not right for most people because we have seen well-designed wagons and they have 4 wheels and they have railings. Yes. And that's actually a great analogy because most diets out there, you're like, it doesn't have railings and it has 2 wheels. Why do people think this is a good wagon? But because the marketing.
It goes so fast for a short time, but then it falls apart.
Is that what it is? Oh, I love this analogy. How can I make a post out of this? Yeah, it's like a super speed wagon. Maybe it's got a little jet engine in the back.
Yeah.
So you don't need 4 wheels.
It can't hold it all though. Then it just falls apart.
Yeah.
It can't sustain that speed.
Right. I love that. Yeah, because it falls apart because it's on 2 wheels. It can go for short bursts and then it falls apart. And engine needs replacing and you probably need to add more wheels anyway because it's a 2-wheeled wagon. Great. I love
one that goes a little bit slower but can sustain that speed the entire time.
Yep. I love that. Let's end that one right there.
Okay.
All right, last one. Having a spotter on a back squat does jack shit other than expose 2 people to injury instead of 1.
What's the spotter going to do? It's so heavy.
It's so heavy.
You can't. They can't lift it with their arms.
Nope.
You can't.
No.
They're just gonna drop. It's gonna fall on them.
Yes, it's gonna kill you both. Or just kill them behind you because they tried to catch it. You went forward. You killed your best friend.
Use safeties. Yeah.
Safety bars. So a spot in general. So it's another thing that I think a lot of people don't fully understand. A spotter when you're lifting is not meant ever in any lift actually to take the weight from you. It's almost never for that purpose. The purpose is to provide a little bit of extra support. My favorite analogy is in a bench press. If you're bench pressing and you have a spotter, the goal of the spotter isn't to catch the bar if you fall. It's if you get to that sticking point and you're stuck, they can provide some more like power. What's the word for like upward motion of the bar? They can push against the bar also with you to help get that bar up so you can re-rack it. It's not to catch the bar or and it's the same thing in a squat. They're not going to catch the bar, but they also can't help get you back up.
No.
They can't.
No.
So I'll see people squatting with somebody behind them, and the somebody behind them is also squatting, but they have their arms straight out in front of them, so they're under the person's armpits. And the thought process here is if that person gets stuck, I will provide leverage with my armpits. I'll push out with my arms. I'll push up into their armpits so that while they're trying to stand, I'm also pushing.
The bar doesn't fall.
In a squat, it doesn't really work.
No.
Plus your face is in the bar and it's super dangerous. The only way to safely squat with safeties around you, there is a way to do it with a spotter, but you have to have 2 spotters on either side of the bar. And they have to be holding onto the bar or pushing up on the bar, right? And then if you have 2, they could actually take the weight. But most people don't have 2 spotters on either side of the bar. The other way to do it, recommended, is exactly what you said. Get in a cage with safety bars. and make sure the safety bars are about hip height. So if you can't get up, you can drop back down and drop the bar on the safeties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
Okay. That's them. Did everything I say spark anything in you? Do you have any?
I probably do, but I can't think of any right now. No. I do have a thought though. Not related. It's not a hot take. I guess we could turn it into a hot take.
Okay.
I can turn it into a hot take.
On the spot.
Okay.
Turn your thought into a hot take.
If your knees hurt, you...
Good job. I think I know where you're going with this.
If your knees hurt, you don't need to do... It's not your knee.
If your knees hurt, it's not because it's your knee.
It's not because it's your knee.
It's probably because you're doing stuff wrong.
No, that's actually not where I was going. Okay, so lately, like, it's so funny because, you know, I have all these aches and pains every once in a while, right? So I had a hurt shoulder. Now that's fine. My back, that's pretty good. Every once in a while, like, I can still feel it there. It's still there. So I'm not deadlifting super heavy, but I'm deadlifting heavy-ish, and I'm okay with that. But the one area, and my knees sometimes hurt, but the one area that never really hurts is my hip. And now my hip hurts. And
really?
Yeah, and it's been really tight.
You're getting
old. I don't know if it was like, it started when I started walking around my neighborhood more, and I was like walking really fast and going up hills, and I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I don't know if it just, maybe I was just not, you know, I was walking a little weird. I don't know. And I don't know if that's it. Or, you know, when I did that program on the app where it was like so much volume, and then I did another program that was a lot of volume. I've just been doing a lot of volume, so I don't know if that's it. And it's just like too much and I need a break. Right now it feels a little better now that I'm doing a little less. Anyway, my hip hurts. And the one thing that helps though, temporarily, is foam rolling. I'm not a big foam roller, but because it's like temporary release, but before my workout, if I do that, it makes a big difference. But anyway, because my hip hurts, now my knees hurt.
Interesting.
Because if you know, like, for the audience, it's like called like the joint by joint model, that your joints are kind of
like stacked.
Yeah. So it goes like
one affects the other.
Yeah. So one joint will be for stability. Then the next joint up will be for mobility, and then it'll go to stability, and then it'll be mobility, right? And so if you think about your ankles, it's more of a mobile joint, right? It moves in all different directions, right? And then your knee, that doesn't mean it doesn't have any stability. And then your knee is more of a stable joint, right? It only moves in that one direction, and it's supposed to be more for stability. That doesn't mean it's not mobile, but the main purpose is stability, right? Then you go to your hips. They move in all different directions. It's more for mobility. Then you go to like your lumbar spine, your lower back, and that's going to be more for stability. Then, you know, keep going up the chain, right? And they go opposite of each other.
And they affect each other. So like your ankle, the mobility of your ankles affects the stability of your knees and up and down.
Because my hip is a little tight, it's probably not moving like it's supposed to. So my knee has to overcompensate for that, and my knee might not be tracking right and might not be able to, you know, it might be moving in different ways to, you know, overcompensate basically for that. So now my knees hurt. And so my main point of saying this is that if your knees hurt or if your elbow hurts, you know, it's going to be important to do mobility exercises for the joints around that. So if your knee hurts, do hip mobility exercises or ankle mobility exercises. If your elbows hurt, then you got to look at your shoulder or your wrists, you know, stuff like that. And it makes a big difference. It
kind of goes with what I was saying though, because it's like, there is, if you're just doing a squat wrong and your knees hurt and then you make this one change, they won't hurt anymore. That does happen. But if you're squatting wrong because you don't have the ankle mobility or even like the hip mobility to open up wide enough, then yeah, your knee takes the brunt of that and your knees are going to hurt.
Yes.
So yeah.
But it could also just be, it might not even be you doing doing exercises. People's knees hurt just because from walking.
Yeah,
right. Because
that's true. Yep.
Things are off. Anyway, it does help when I open up my hips and do a lot of hip mobility stuff. My knees are going to feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
And when I first started lifting, my knees were awful. Like they hurt so bad, like doing any kind of lunge, any kind of split stance things. I could squat,
Interesting.
but any kind of split stance things, they were so bad. But then once I got, more mobility, that went away. It just comes back every once in a while. And then
Yeah.
obviously strengthen the muscles around your knee can also help make it more stable.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My knees every once in a while, I think it's age related stuff. Like they'll kind of hurt, or if I'm doing like a heavy program, like you said, like a lot of volume or a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
like I'll start to feel like twinge. But the thing that I'll notice like literally instantly helps it feel better is if I go down to a squat and I feel that twinge on my way up, I will press my knees out really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the activation of those side glute muscles and that providing that hip stability that just take that pain away like instantly from my
Yeah.
knee. It's
That's
like
good.
the tiniest little thing. It's very interesting. It's something I want to look more into. I want to understand all of that better than I do.
Yeah. I never notice, very rarely, if it has to be really bad for me to notice my knees when I'm squatting. It's only
Mm-hmm.
single leg things.
Yeah, interesting.
So if I do a program where there's lots of single leg things, my knees will start to hurt eventually. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't feel it. I think it's because of the load. Because single legs for me, like even when I'm really heavily loading them, but I'm still only loading it like 50% or less of what I'm loading on a back squat, right? So I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know. I don't
yeah,
notice that with single leg stuff. It's the opposite for me.
that's funny.
Yeah.
One thing I do have though is really good thoracic mobility, because I've had Wayne and one of my in-person clients do like
The
the
windmill,
the lying
clamshell
windmill.
windmill. Yeah.
Yeah, the lying windmill, and both of them have to like bend their elbow, and they could like my one client couldn't even touch like the back, like couldn't even touch the floor, she's like, I can't get it to go any further, and I'm like, really? It's
Yeah.
so weird, because I go down and I do it, and it's just like so easy for my arm
Butter,
to go all the
baby.
way around. Yeah, I'm like, okay, my thoracic mobility is top notch. No
Yeah.
issues.
I felt
Yeah.
like I was sitting with that doctor this morning and he was asking and he was like, no health concerns, nothing weird. I was like, nope. He's like, nothing, anything that you might. I was like, nope. I consider myself to be in like elite health. Like, I got nothing. Did you see my blood pressure? You can check your chart again. Do you want to know how many? He didn't ask me how many days I exercise, and I was waiting for that because I wanted to
Okay.
talk about it. He never
Like
asked.
I exercise like 6 days a week, sir.
Why isn't that on your questionnaire, sir?
Yeah,
What's
that's
your
an important
diet like?
question.
They ask me family history, if you smoke, if you drink, how often, your kids. They ask you all these things. How about your grandparents' health? And all these things. How about ask about my diet? How much protein do you eat every day? What's your fiber like? Fruits and vegetables? How many do you exercise? What's your steps? Those would be good questions.
I'm going to get this wrong, but I heard a statistic that has something that's like, when it comes to how long you live, only like, I forgot what it was, but maybe like 20% or something is genetics, and the rest is lifestyle. Yeah, that number's probably wrong, but it's something like much lower than people would think, because people would think that like, oh, my grandmother lived till she was 100, so I have the genetics, so I'm going to live till I'm 100, and it's like all genetics, but actually it's like a big portion of it is lifestyle.
Yeah, I can see that. I
So
mean, the
like
genetic factor will help get you a little further.
Yeah.
If you maybe would have died at 45, now you're going to die at 50, like.
But that's
why
I brought it up, because I'm like, well, why aren't you asking me the questions that actually matter? These are only like 20% of the equation.
I should have said it.
Why aren't
Maybe
you?
I will go for my 3-month follow-up. Just so I can challenge him on this. Sir, can we talk about fitness
you go
and
to the
nutrition?
doctor and you're like thinking it's like a test, and you're like, I'm going to ace this test, and I'm going to show them how elite I am.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I'm aware of how it sounds. I'm aware.
Yeah. It's okay. I'm like that too. I like to show off,
Yeah.
I'm
like, I want to be
more
complimented. Wow. Do you want to be the poster child for our clinic? Yes, sir. I do.
yeah, it's nice when someone's like, wow, you're doing so good. I know.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Thanks. No. Oh, really? Really? I didn't know. Thanks. I really appreciate that. Do you want to know my bone density reading? I can pull up my numbers. Like, I really want you to know. Oh, you see there that I'm 40? You're probably wondering, common concerns. He did start to say, he was like, have you started to get scanned for And then he stopped. He was like, because they actually lowered the age from 50 to 40 getting scanned for. And then he said breast cancer. And I was like, oh, I thought you were going to say bone density. I was really excited to talk about that. Actually, yes, sir. I got scanned and I am above average in bone density. No, breast cancer.
No.
Anyway. All right. Awesome. That was fun. Thanks for listening. If you like this, have any thoughts on my hot takes or anything else, we'd love for you to comment below, share it with a friend, give us a 5-star review wherever you listen to this. It massively helps us with our outreach, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.